Well, with me in the studio this hour, Fredman is the Director for Israel at the Abraham Accords Peace Institute and the Director of the Misgav Institute for National Security. Thank you very much indeed for being with us, Asher. Good to have you with us. So we've got these talks underway, yet another round of talks trying to get the hostages out. But this time there is more pressure on Hamas than ever before. Is that making a difference?
There certainly is more pressure, and Israel is standing before some very, very difficult choices. But we have to recognize that there are many details of these agreements that are still not clear. And for example, how do you assure that terrorists don't return to the north, right? Even if they're not carrying weapons, they can return to the north and pull out the weapons from under their children's beds. The Philadelphia corridor. How do you prevent Hamas from rearming and from once again smuggling weapons? Can you rely on Egypt? Can you rely on international forces? Can we rely on technology? To what degree will Israel have freedom of movement? There is a lot of pressure, and obviously all of us want to see the hostages home as soon as possible, but there are details that are critical to Israel's security that are still quite up in the air.
What do you make of these reports about comments made by the CIA chief, Bill Burns? He says that Sinwar is under more pressure now than ever before to end the war, precisely because Israel has taken control of the Rafah crossing, the Philadelphia corridor, and Hamas is essentially being choked when it comes to weapons and supplies.
The IDF is moving forward quite impressively in its military operation, and obviously the assassination, the strike against Mohammed Deif, whether or not it was successful or not, raised the pressure. We do have to recall that there are still probably tens of thousands of Hamas fighters that are still alive, that are still active in Gaza, Hamas, PIJ, and other terrorist groups. Hamas still has fighting capabilities, terrorist capabilities, but they're certainly under pressure.
And let's talk about the international pressure then on Hamas, because it was only recently that Qatar appears to have said to the Hamas leadership, you know, accept a deal with Israel or you'll have to get out of Doha. You won't be able to live in this country anymore. Do you think that is playing a part?
I think Qatar is still dedicated to the survival of Hamas. Every time there's American pressure or other pressure, we have a press announcement that they told Hamas leaders they need to leave. Sometimes they leave for 24 hours, they come back. The fact is that Hamas leadership is still in Doha. The Hamas financial network is still being run partly out of Doha. Al Jazeera continues to promote Hamas propaganda throughout the Middle East. I think that Qatar is still looking to help Hamas survive the current operation.
And what about the sounds coming from Israel's allies in the United States? We've just heard from the new Republican pick for Vice President, J.D. Vance. He came out very quickly to talk about Israel and about the Abraham Accords, in fact. But he said Israel needs to hurry up and finish off the war in Gaza so it can focus and concentrate on the Abraham Accords. What were your thoughts on that?
I think that former President Trump, vice presidential nominee Vance have been very clear about their support for Israel, about their support for Israel's war effort. But yes, they would like Israel to finish the job, to get it over with. They think that Israel should have moved more quickly and should not have delayed many of its military operations because of American pressure. And I think, to be honest, they'd rather focus on other issues when they come into office, internal issues, domestic issues. So certainly they would like to see Israel complete the operation and achieve its war goals as quickly as possible.
Asher Fredman for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Indeed.